What's up, guys? How you doing today? It's Nathan with Staring at the City. Today I sat down with Ricky from Waterwave TV. We talked about what it takes to throw a successful show. We're here in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. And you guys know that the Twin Cities is home to some of the best live hip-hop. Come and sit down with Waterwave and listen as we discuss what's going on here in the Twin Cities. Hey, check this out, man. I got a really special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them who you are.
Ricky from Waterwave TV. If you didn't know, now you know. So the city takeover itself, I was personally thinking of almost like I would almost call it like the Minneapolis takeover, or the whatever you want to call it, the Twin Cities takeover, Twin Cities showcase. But if you just get rid of the actual location of it and you just say city takeover, it can travel. So obviously we're starting off in Minneapolis because that's kind of where we are at, but we can do a city takeover in any city now, and it doesn't necessarily ruin the branding of the show. So it can be city takeover volumes, 6, 7, or 8, wherever it may be, over in California, somewhere in LA or something, or San Francisco, or go to Chicago with it, because now it's traveling. It's not Minneapolis takeover, so it doesn't limit the idea of the show, and that was kind of the reasoning behind the name. But I guess like the show itself is mainly to pick like a couple headlining acts that have like been doing their thing recently, and then a bunch of rising stars coming up. So like draw people there for that main act, but find new people along the way as well that are either younger and haven't been able to prove themselves yet, or have been around for a while but just haven't really shined, if that makes sense.
Really giving like an opportunity. Hell yeah. So tell me about your artist selection for this last specific one. You had Casanova, you had Lorado. Like, how did you pick your artists?
So the main acts, when it comes down to it, Casanova was an artist that I listened to one of the most. He's one of the artists I bumped the most out of Minnesota. So I've always wanted to do a show with him. And I know he hasn't necessarily headlined his own show in a long time. He was supposed to do one at First Ave, and then the COVID thing where you had to have a vaccine card, they canceled it. So I was like, I know he was really excited to headline his show back then, and he hadn't got another show opportunity to headline besides, I think, like a Halloween show, if that was after that. But other than that, like, it wasn't necessarily focused around him. So I wanted to give him a show because I know he could do well, and he has a lot of support out here. So that was the main reason behind him. And Lorado also hasn't performed out here in a long time. A lot of people probably don't even know who Lorado is. Because I'd say it was like 3-4 years ago when he was really, really going viral. Not popping, maybe viral. He has a million streams on some songs, but like the 360 Mayhem type stuff, that long-haired Lorado, freeform dread Lorado. If you know that, if you know who that Lorado is, that was like when he was really popping. Not that he isn't anymore, but that was like his glow time. And he did shows back then, and then it's probably been like 2-3 years since he did a show out here, at least that I know of. Yeah, and we actually got to open up for him last time he was out here at Skyway. And I remember when we did that, or before that, I was like, I want to book Lorado for a show one day.
He's not from here?
I think when he was younger, he grew up in like Houston or Houston, but he's lived in St. Paul. He moved to St. Paul when he was young, so he's basically from St. Paul. But I knew, for the longest, like, Lorado was one of the first artists I also got like tapped into in Minnesota. Thankful to Nate P, the cameraman. He shot a lot of videos for him back in the day, so I watched all of his videos on there. And Lorado was just someone that we always wanted to do a show with, and the timing was right. He's been dropping a lot of music recently. Side note, I've been getting closer with his brother in the shoe game, so it was kind of like, let's just make some money together, whatever, put some money in his hands. He can help us make some money as well. And so that was kind of the reasoning behind the two headliners, just two guys that haven't had a headlining show in a while, both been dropping music and have a good fan base. And it's kind of funny that every time we've did a headliner for a show, they've been from St. Paul, I believe, for the most part. Like Bobby Raps is a St. Paul guy as well.
Yeah.
So there's been, and then like Tarzan, Westside Kobe, both St. Paul. It's like every time we've did one, it seems like it's been St. Paul. So the trend has kind of been going that way. But like for the openers, obviously Trace and Green, Cumo, Kelvino, and Jake Giller they're all Waterwave artists for everyone that didn't really know. Yep, okay. Cumo's our newest guy that's kind of under the Waterwave umbrella, not necessarily signed in with blood or anything like that, but like guys that we're trying to push. You know what I mean? So that was like the reasoning behind them. And then I wanted for the rest, for NZ Rose and Summer, I wanted to get more females on the lineup. Okay. Yeah. So I know like there's a lot of female artists out there. A lot of them, I'd say, either just don't have a lot of music out to where I didn't know who to pick, or just don't fit the vibe. But we've did a lot of work with NZ and Summer in the past, and I tried to get a couple more on there, but they weren't able to do it. So those are the reasoning behind them. I like them, and to get some more females. And then Lil Dusky, right, yeah. He's from the Bay, He just moved out here like a year ago, and he found out about Waterwave because he was looking for a studio. So that was how we got tapped in with him, and he's been going crazy. He's had a lot of songs doing, 20 to 50 to 80,000 views and whatnot. So he's like, his name's buzzing. His music's a lot different. I think he's really original. So I like his music a lot, and he never had a real opportunity to perform ever. So that was like the shot for him. And is that everyone that performs? Oh yeah, and SB Max was he's part of the NDO crew, so that was the reasoning behind him to keep the NDO crew involved in the show.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Good. What is it like to throw a show in Minneapolis or the Twin Cities for someone who's not from here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's similar to other places, right? But there are some things that are unique here as well. So what is it like to throw a show in the Twin Cities or in Minneapolis?
At least what I've observed, I guess the first step, unfortunately, a lot of the venue that the poorhouse we work with, they don't like to do like 18 plus events. Unless you basically just got to pay a little bit more money because they got to hire more employees and more security and all that. So I'd say it's one step is hard to find a venue. That's one thing with Minneapolis. It's hard to find a venue to do a show at because either they're really busy or they're just doing their own shows. But the Poorhouse has always worked with local acts. I like them a lot, so shout out to the Poorhouse. But just to be able to do the 18 plus, you got to pay a little bit more, and it's just something that we haven't fathomed yet, at least for the shows that we do. We're not, you're not selling out the Poorhouse, whatever. Yeah, and like 18 plus, maybe we get a little bit closer. But so I'd say the 21 plus thing is kind of weird. It's like the 21 plus thing is a little tough. So that's like a little downfall, but it's still fun because whatever, it's still a show.
Right, but that's probably like
because performers, they don't mind if they're underage or whatnot. But like a lot of the younger people have really young fans, so it's just like a lot when I have these 17 to 19-year-old artists that are like, bro, get me on a show, I bring so many people. I'm like, well, it's 21 plus, so you probably won't bring anybody.
It ends up being like just a couple of the homies.
Who can get in on the guest list because they came early or something. But then I'd say like other than that, like Minneapolis is it's kind of hard because like there's a lot of people throwing local shows out here, so you got to make yours something special. And I like to just like, I don't know, we tried to carry the idea of our shows are really professional. We try to get as many people to pop out. And I guess some advice for some of you out there that are trying to just throw a local show, invest some money into a headliner. Like, even if it's a local guy, if you know he's going to sell 30 to 50 tickets, make sure you pay him at least half of what that would make. You know what I mean? Like somewhere around there. Like, give somebody their money so they feel the need to actually try. A lot of people just try to throw local events and don't spend any money on any acts. Like, some acts will definitely perform for free because they want the opportunity, and they don't, if they don't want to perform for free, the next person will. So it's like, it happens. So
you gotta get that balance, right?
Yeah, you gotta get that balance of the people that are down to perform for free for the opportunity, because they're getting camera work, video work, they're getting on a stage, they're getting to meet all these people, so they are getting paid, just not monetarily. So I'd say it's a little hard that way. And another thing I've noticed too is there's a lot of people that won't go to a show if they have to buy a ticket, but they'll go if you can put them on the guest list or something like that, right? So it's almost like, and I don't like to limit too many artists to their guest list people, because I would rather have more people in the crowd than not. So it's like, for example, like if I know we can sell 200 tickets tonight, I wouldn't mind if there's 150 to 200 people that weren't going to come, if they weren't on the guest list, if you have to throw them on the guest list, so be it and whatnot. Like, I probably shouldn't even be saying that because everyone's gonna be like, let me get on the guest list, bro, or whatnot. But it's more of like artist guest list, not my guest list. So don't ask me. Like, if your homie's the headliner, you better hit him up. And that's about it.
Who do you want to book right now, like from here? Like, if is there any like standout artists here? I'm trying to book this artist for like the longest time from here. You know what I'm saying?
From
like,
here,
or even just people that you're excited about.
Yeah, I'd love to do a show with like Young Gravy.
Hell yeah.
I know he doesn't need like the help or whatnot to like do a good show, but I'd love to be the person that helps put a Young Gravy show together. Prof as well, but he's also on his own thing where they don't necessarily need someone to book them. They can kind of do their own thing. Bobby.
Taste Supreme. Yeah, Taste Supreme.
Yeah,
he's on stage at your event.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, he came and shout out because he has a song with Trayson, so they performed it together.
There's
he's on
the plug.
Yeah,
okay,
and he's on tour right now with Prof.
Shout out Prof.
Yeah, Taste Supreme headlined one if not two of our city takeovers. I know one was like the Modern Day Hippies, and he might have did the first one. I forget who performed at our first one because I can't find the flyer anywhere.
Yeah.
But I have the flyer for all the other ones.
Shout out Jackson Bates as well.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of camera work for us.
Who do you like as far as like video people, camera people around the city? Like,
yeah, so right now we're working heavy. We're working heavy with Jackson Bates. Yeah. He's been editing a lot of our podcasts, if not all of them. doing our concert recaps. He's going to start editing some vlogs for us and stuff too. And he's on tour with Tay Supreme right now doing his tour recap. We've also been working with this guy named Aaron. His Instagram's aaron.mp4. He just graduated college, I believe, from Duluth. So he's coming back out here and he's going to be doing the same thing Jackson's kind of doing for us, like the recap, the editing vlogs for us, and concert recaps when either I don't want to go or I don't have the time to go. He can go for me and capture it and whatnot. It'll be Waterwave content. So those are two guys that I would definitely shout for. Also got Stan the Man. He did some podcasts for us before, shoots music videos. But there's a lot of good cameramen. I see new ones every day. Like there's always these new kids coming out of high school that want to shoot music videos, and anybody can do it. Yeah, and anybody can do it. You just got to learn. Yeah, there's really no cookie cutter way of how to do shit. Obviously, you just got to take it serious. You just can't lollygag, I guess.
And do you edit your own videos? Like, because I see you do those videos, like reviews. Like you did a recent one where you reviewed a bunch of Minnesota artists.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who'd you have on there? You had who'd you have on there? You had Paul Blaze on there.
Paul Blaze was on there. Prince Williams, Tay Supreme, Trayson, Hagi or Haji, however you say his name, I forget. So like those ones are pretty easy to edit. Because I just basically hit record on like my streaming software, and instead of like streaming it live, I'm just recording it.
Sure.
So it's kind of like already going. But I guess the idea behind like doing the review stuff is just I see people watching videos on like the next big artist out of California, or you need to hear about this artist and whatnot, and that's kind of the feeling behind it, is to get people from out of Minnesota to be like, oh, who's popping in Minnesota? Right. That's kind of it.
Paul Blaze is actually like doing like a lot of work. How'd you hear about him?
I think it might have been our live streams. When we would do our live streams, people can submit their music for me to review and give feedback on and whatnot. I think that's the first time I seen him, and I probably followed him on the gram after that. And then just seeing his music, like, it's good. I like his music a lot.
It is, yeah.
And I know Dusky and him are like pretty close with each other now. So like being close with Dusky and like seeing them continue to work, like that's probably that's kind of how I heard of him.
Word. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I would ask you this, just to wrap things up, like, outside looking into Minneapolis, like what artists would you like to bring here? Because I know you probably will, so I'm just like kind of pick your brain a little bit, get that preview if you're willing to let me know like who you got on the horizon, like big artists, because I feel like ever since Soundset went away, we haven't really had like that big artist opportunity for like the undercard to come on, and like, you know what I'm saying, and, like, you got the budget there sometimes too, so what are you looking at?
I'd say if there's any rich people watching this right now, if you want to make some money, we can throw the best festival that since Soundset. If we can probably try to do the State Fairgrounds again, but if not, wherever. But if you're watching, besides a whole huge festival, one-off shows here and there, I want to bring a lot more of the younger acts out. Like there's people that are popping, like Baby Santana, Cash Dami, Summers. It's like this like Babytron, the Shitty Boys, like these new like younger artists that are coming up, not from Minnesota or anything, like just from everywhere, that I think can bring, like, I want it that can bring like a 16 plus or all ages crowd, because that's the one thing that we haven't been able to do much. Most of the people that follow our page and like our stuff and comment on our things and show us support are under 21, maybe even under 18 sometimes, and they can't come and support our events, support our artists. So like I would love to be able to do an all ages event, or 16 plus, 13 plus, whatever you can really manage for the youngest you can get, and then bring out some younger acts that bring that young crowd. So they can, because like the young crowd is where it starts. They're streaming the most music, they're watching the music videos, they got the time to do so.
People like hip hop in Minnesota. Right? Like,
it's just people are marketing to the wrong crowd. I'd say people are marketing to the 21 to 30-year-olds in the club. They don't want to hear about your dreams and careers, because they're either working on their own or they're mad because theirs didn't work out. You know what I mean? Like they're either busy doing theirs, they don't want to have they don't have the time to support yours.
That one hurt a couple kids. But
definitely.
It's the truth though.
It's the truth.
You gotta hear it.
It's like I'm busy doing a lot of things. Like obviously I want to hear about other people's stuff and help in the way I can, but I can't help everybody and everything. So it's like you hit the people that are early in their life, like the teenagers and whatnot. They have all the time in the world to listen to your music, watch your music videos, come to your shows, because they are experimenting and trying to figure out what they like in life still. So like I'd say, but to really answer your question, I want to bring a lot more younger artists out, and I don't know, just we could definitely find someone we want to book, but we haven't booked a main act like that yet. I think like the Bobby Raps, Cashinova, and Lorado, the past few shows have been like our first kind of introductory into actually booking a big act for a show.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll say, like, I think you're on the right path to doing that, and I'm really excited for what you got coming in these next couple of years. If there's anything you want to say to my audience to wrap it up, like something that, you know what I'm saying, what a piece of advice, you know, like, or something to take away from here, you know?
Definitely some advice for everybody is just to, I don't know, honestly, it's really cliche, but just don't quit on your dream, because your dream doesn't fail until you quit. And that's really the truth. You could be chasing, like, I could be still trying to blow up on Waterwave, whatever blow up means, or still be trying to get financially stable on Waterwave until I'm 50. And then once I hit 51, maybe something happens to where I make my first million, you know, and then my dream succeed, or it never fails unless you quit, right? But also, like, just experiment with a lot of things. Waterwave wasn't the first business I started, and I started, like, a lot of clothing brands when I was younger, and, like, my own vlog channels, and I started with music videos. I don't even do music videos anymore. I started doing, like, there's a lot of things that I have done that I don't like to do anymore, and it keeps evolving. Like even with our store, like, at first I want to do everything that was needed in the store. Now it's like, all right, I like doing these couple things, he likes doing those couple things, and now we can, you know, actually structure a business and not just freelance in a lot of things. So overstep your boundaries, go farther than you think you can, even if you fail. Like, that's the point, because you're gonna quit some things, just don't quit the overall mission of not stopping. You know what I mean? Like, I've stopped a lot of things that I have done in the past, but it's only helped me focus on what I actually found out I enjoy. So you got to fail at a lot of things to figure out what you enjoy, right? You
haven't even failed enough to, like, know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you got to do some things that you end up being like, I don't like this at all, or I'm not good at this, and then that's when you quit, or when you pass it off, and that's when you fail at that activity. But as long as you don't fail at the full mission of quitting and just basically getting into that, I don't know if you want to call it that 9-to-5 lifestyle of, I'm just going to work a 9-to-5 the rest of my life until I'm 80, and then I get that retirement. You know, like even if you, like, I'm like me in the store, I work, you know, my 8 hours, basically my 9-to-5, my 12 to 6, my 12 to 7, just as like everyone else does, works their jobs. And it's like, we just made that for ourselves, but I still work, you know, I still have to put hours in. Like, I'm still an employee at the end of the day to my own spot. But just not letting it take it over and take the easy route out. Because there's definitely times when I'd be laying in bed like, damn, if I just, like, sold my ownership in the store and Waterwave or something, I could just get a job and just work and come home and relax, have no worries, no stress, you know what I mean? But it only lasts for about, like, 2 minutes in my head, or, like, it's just like, nah, I don't want to do that. But it's like, it's just not fun, right? So definitely not knocking anybody that doesn't have that drive, but just step out the box, get out the matrix, get out the simulation, move out, quit, take a look, go on your balcony. This ain't even my place, so don't think it's sweet like that. But, you know, just take a step outside, really think about what you want and what's out there. Everything's capable. People are making $10,000 a day doing whatever on a random check, giving someone an opportunity because they, hey, I can do this for you. You want to help me with that? My rate is this. Someone may take you up on it. You never know. Set a price for yourself and push your dreams.
Straight up.
Yeah.
No, don't give up. Never give up. That is I said you're on the right path. I'll edit that. I'll say you're creating a path, like a new path. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope. That's dope to me. So appreciate the interview.
Of course.
You're staring at the city. This is Waterwave. Peace.
Peace out.
Respect.
Yeah.